Hi everybody. This is day 932. 932 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss, and he didn't just vanish. Something happened, and I want to go over a few things that is going on, and then repeat some of the older news about this case. Keep repeating and repeating. Please share everything. Please share. And also, if you know something that corrects what I'm saying, please contact me. Please let me know. Because at this point, we are really, let me adjust this just a little bit. I don't know if it's, this is a This is just a one man in this little area here, and it's amazing that I'm able to do it. And I am just so grateful for all the shares and any of the people coming on here because um, there's two reasons for it. One, Richard didn't just go missing. There has been so many crimes committed. Crimes against humanity is just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about asymmetric warfare tactics used against us, weaponization of their positions, used against so many, not just Find Richard Halliday, so many. And so, to keep this alive, to keep this going, to say, look, every day I've been saying this. Every day, Team Find Richard Halliday has a voice, and I'm just the person behind the voice. There's so many others. Team Find Richard Halliday has a voice. That's why I get on here every day, and it doesn't matter how many, because inch by inch and faithfulness will produce fruit, right? And so, and I want to talk to you today about the death penalty. Okay, I want to talk about that. I want to bring that out in the open because let me play a few things for you, and then we'll talk about it and talk about the death penalty and how you feel about it and what has gone on in my thoughts for years now about the death penalty. So let me go ahead and start that. Okay. I want to go to the bottom here. I really want to go to this one. Let's see, how do I do this? Okay, there it is. Okay, let me start it over again. This is General McConville right here. Right here, right there. This is General Mealy right there. Yeah. Let's repeat that one more time and take a really good look at this. This is General Mealy. This is General McConville. Look how close they are together. Okay. Oh, I need to put my desktop on. Let's play it one more time. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. Let's see. Move this over just a little bit. Okay, so that video is haunting me. Okay, it is haunting me because do you understand, for us, the level of crime that has taken place in our son's case, and not only in our son's case, in Caleb Smither, in Asia Graham, in Enrique Roman Martinez, and Austin Hawk, and Vanessa Guillen. The level of crime, it is the worst type of crime. It is so bad. It is so bad. It's like the legalization of murder. You know, that is what is taking place right now. The legalization of murder with no consequences, right? Some people get to decide if they get to murder you, right? They get to decide if they get to hurt you. They get to decide if they get to groundlessly punish you, if they get to torture you. They get to decide these things like they're God or something, you know, and that they don't have to be accountable. And this is why we need to talk about the death penalty. Okay? So I want to play some more for you and just take it all in. General McConville here. Let's see if I can show my screen. Yeah, so General McConville here. And I can put my hand up there, I think. No. He is giddy. He is giddy. They're saying, I've got to talk to you about Cuba. I'm serious. I got to talk to you about Cuba. And they're giddy. General Mealy is more stoic, more professional. But I don't know. I wasn't standing on the other side. We just had the worst 2 years. General McConville has the power to tell us who murdered Richard. And at this point, I say that. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm like 99.9% sure that Richard was murdered. We have the name. We have everything. We need law enforcement agencies to tell us if we're right. If all of the information that we have is right. And so many indictments, y'all. So many crimes have been committed to cover up this crime. Richard just didn't disappear. He just didn't vanish. Those CCTV footage, those videos did not just vanish. Those videos were not just tampered with. The files weren't just leaked. The senior leader just didn't go to the military police guard mount and just groundlessly smear Richard. General McConville just didn't, create a stage task force, Find Richard Halliday, and order that they go there without a uniform on, in their barbecue clothes, and just didn't forget or whatever to appoint a task force leader and forget to have any kind of staff create an operational order for Task Force Find Richard Halliday. That didn't just happen. It was not by mistake. It was all by design. And the CID just didn't say, oh, the father-in-law FBI informant is just nobody. Don't worry. The father-in-law of the lieutenant colonel in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM, your son's command, and not just any part of the command, but Major General Clem Coward's part of the command, where they make the operational orders. Oh, we told you he was just nobody. Well, that just didn't happen. That we had to spend months out of our life to try to figure who this man is. And to know, that just doesn't happen, that the CID does that, or that the FBI, who we gave all that information, just, it's no, he's not a special agent. So this is so evil. This is so creepy. We have to talk about the death penalty. Okay? Because they believe in the death penalty. They believe in it. And they move in it. They act in it. And we're going to be talking about what I mean by that. Let's go to this here.
You, ladies and gentlemen, interfered with the United States of America 2020 presidential election, knowingly and willingly. That's the bad news. It's going to get worse, because this is the investigation part. Later comes the arrest part. Your attorneys are familiar with that. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to spend 5 hours with these ladies and gentlemen doing depositions surely yet to come. But for right now, I'll yield the balance of my time to my colleague, Mr. George.
I'm sorry, I forgot to turn this on. Let's watch it one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, interfered with the United States of America 2020 presidential election, knowingly and willingly. That's the bad news. It's going to get worse, because this is the investigation part. Later comes the arrest part. Your attorneys are familiar with that. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to spend 5 hours with these ladies and gentlemen doing depositions surely yet to come. But for right now, I'll yield the balance of my time to my colleague, Mr. Jordan.
Okay, so, that's all, wow. Maybe something will be done. But that's been happened before with Benghazi. I mean, we can't forget Benghazi, right? Look at what's happened with COVID. Look at the absolute death penalties, the banning. Banning is a method of death penalty. The training to suicide, the bringing in of fentanyl, allowing that to happen, in massive amounts. The making our water dirty, giving us these Cobra strikes that they've messed with, y'all. They've messed with. And they weren't for our health. I mean, people are sending me messages all over the place about eggs, how eggs help undo the damage that the Cobra strike gave. And I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying that wouldn't be going around if people were not being hurt by what has happened in the last couple of years. And what about the death of small businesses? I remember living in Ireland when the British farmers, Scottish farmers, had to cull their cattle because they had the mad cow disease, which was a toxification. And, they'll blame it on nature so that nobody is held accountable. So the absolute murder, not the culling, that's the mercy, because they were all going to die. with this brain disease, mad cow disease from, look it up. Look it up. The toxic, the poisoning. And, so the death penalty was issued on these cows. And you think that's not a big deal? It's a big deal. It's a big deal because I remember farmers committing suicide. I remember when there wasn't enough silage because of political maneuvering, and the farmers could not feed their cattle. That's also so evil. They take the death penalty. They take murder into their own hands. And there is a difference between death penalty and murder. But to them, in their own religion, in their evil, wicked religion, they think it's okay to decide who gets to live and who gets to die. If I'm wrong, you need to correct me. You need to correct me. Here is something else I wanted you to listen to. I'll put this on.
For anyone who's new to shadow policy, let me explain it and line this out for you very clearly. There is an official policy. This is evidenced by what we saw from the reporter at American Military News. American Military News contacted Fort Rucker based on the letter that we put out earlier in the day. Fort Rucker officially said, oh, hey, TRADOC didn't update their guidance until the 7th. Therefore, we didn't update ours until the 8th. We sent out those emails on the 8th. Suspicious, right? But we're sending out new emails. Now I have people contacting me saying, no, I just signed in yesterday. I signed into my class, and this is not just for aviation school. This is for walks and everything, warrant officer candidate school. Multiple people have contacted and said, I had to show proof of being vaccinated. So basically, what you have is you have official policy, Fort Rucker telling the news or Congress or anybody who contacts them, nope, we just updated our stuff, even though it was lifted over a month ago. The DOD put out guidance a month ago now. Keep this in mind, but it took them all this time to obey the law. Suspicious, right? But let's go with this. So officially, they're contacted by the news, by Congress, whoever, saying, nope, we lifted it, but everybody on the ground is seeing otherwise, the shadow policy. So if anybody on the ground puts in a congressional or an IG complaint or anything else, they'll investigate it and they'll say, oh, there's nothing to see here. We talked to a spokesperson and they said, no, there is no mandate. There's nothing in place. When the reality is, it is in place. All of the cadre, all of the leadership, and all the school requirements are requiring the students to show up with vaccine proof. This is what a shadow policy looks like.
Yep. And see this guy here? So evil. So evil. I'm saying the worst type. The worst type, these two. This guy here. This guy here. 44 four-star generals and admirals. They are the worst type of criminal. Worst. Because if you've seen Little Dorrit, there is a man that kind of looks like Santa in it. But he's the worst type of criminal. He goes through the streets and he acts like Santa, and he might give a little this and give a little pat and say a little prayer and whatever. But then he goes back to his office and he calls his man and he's like, squeeze it to him, give it to him, I want my money, and raises the taxes, and he's just so evil, right? But the face that he gives to them is like kind and generous and everything, but no. And this is him. This is him. This is our 44 four-star generals. And, I don't even like to call them that. These are the demons, the worst type of criminals that are wearing our beautiful uniforms with 4 stars on them. That's what I want to say, because we need to, it's been hijacked. Our military has been hijacked buy 44. What are we doing with 44 anyway? 4-star billets, right? I mean, World War II, we had 7. We had 7. This is crazy. And we have the murder of our country, the murder of our military, the murder. And, you might say, what are you talking about? They are doing everything they can to make it die. To make it die. Everything. They have put in their own sick religion the death penalty on our military, on our service members, on our small businesses, on our health, they are so evil. And that's why it's called the weaponization. Okay? Think about, you're so excited that you finally get to open up a little bakery, right? Or a little sushi shop, right? And you put in your savings and you're working your 12, 15-hour days trying to make it work. And all of a sudden, these evil guys here, because it was them, y'all, it was them. It was the Department of Defense that brought all this in. And if you didn't lockstep, right? They made sure that everybody locks it. And they're making sure by this shadowing, these shadow policies, they're still putting that pressure on everybody. Because there are spheres of government, right? There's spheres of government. Of course, the military being a sphere of government, school being a sphere of government, churches being a sphere of government, the civil government, supposed to be a sphere, right? There is a division between church and state. That's supposed to be, right? So we have these spheres of government, and we have one or two that are really engulfing everybody else and putting in these shadow policies saying you don't have any rights anymore. I don't care what your church says. I don't care what your family says. I don't care what the law says. I don't care what the law says. I am going to do what I want to do. That's what's going on. That's what shadow policy is. And they have instituted a very sick, not a godly death penalty, but for them, they're picking and choosing. I would call it murder. I would call it cold-blooded murder, legalized murder. And I don't know the law so great on all the definitions, but they're planning it out with these wars, with our businesses, with our military, our service members. Look at how many suicides. Look at how many people mentally disabled, PTSD, cannot function. So let's talk about the death penalty. Let's talk about who gets to decide life and death. And, normally that discussion has been relegated to I guess to the abortion issue, because many people think it is murder, because you have a life is given as a gift in your womb. Not just because you're active sexually doesn't mean you're gonna get that gift of life. And these Cobra strikes, I know I've heard a lot of stories that they're taking away the ability, the fertility, the of many people messing with them. It is a gift of life. And you know, God made woman woman and man man, and women they are blessed to be able to be that the mother that baby is growing in. And the beauty of it has been so belittled because of this want for the business plans of abortion. And it's huge business, y'all, just like this whole COVID thing was, or just like so many other things. These balloons, when the Satelloons, when you start looking into it, it's big business, y'all. It's a wicked business plan. So anyway, and here is let's see, is Roseanne Barr. I wanted to play her because well, let's let her say it.
Than most people, that's for sure. She started at the very bottom. Then out of nowhere, she created and wrote one of the most successful sitcoms of all time. And so her career, of course, she's Roseanne Barr, was thriving. And then she made the mistake of making fun of Barack Obama's best friend, Valerie Jarrett. And her career was completely destroyed. They tried to destroy her personal life, too. But she is back. She's hard to defeat. She's got a brand new stand-up special on Fox Nation called Roseanne Barr Cancel This. Here's part of it.
Man, I had a rough couple of years there. I got fired because basically I racially misgendered somebody I thought was a white woman. Huh? I know. I thought the was white. It's true.
A lot of us thought that in her defense. We're sitting down for a full hour with Roseanne Barr. It'll be on Fox Nation, but she joins us now on set. Roseanne, thank you so much for coming. I really
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
I'm so excited to be on with you.
Well, we're going to get into all the details. You were like, we had dinner last night. There was a lot I didn't know about.
Wasn't that fun?
The best.
You know, scorn power, especially during Biden's presidency. I love laughing it to scorn because it deserves to be laughed to scorn.
Oh, I agree.
And my jokes are so great. They're the most offensive. I was talking to my friends who also were canceled, and we all were saying, we made a pact together. When we come back, we're going to be even more offensive than we've ever been before. So my stand-up is more offensive than I've ever been. And I'm so happy because you've got to be more offensive when the culture is so offensive that it makes absolutely no sense, that it's anti-life, anti-human, anti-culture, anti-citizen. You got to be so offensive to offend the most offensive thing that is on earth right now. And I think I've done it.
You have? That's a very high bar. I just want to go one sentence back. You have friends. There's a community of people who've been canceled. Like, you know each other.
Comedians, you know,
yes.
Especially comedians, because, like I told you last night, I was terrified when Obama signed the NDAA thing because I said, my God, this is an attack on comedy, and all the comics were talking about it. It's like we will not be able to say anything now, and it's true. And it's funny that I said that on Twitter and that I was the first casualty of cancel culture in a large way. But, so many of other comics have fallen too and can't find work and, have no livelihood because, unless they, are ridiculously sucking up to what the left considers to be. Well, the left has no humor at all, so let's be real. They have no sense of humor at all, nor do they have any sense of humor about themselves. Like anybody in power who can't take a joke about themselves, like the person I mentioned, she should have just laughed it off. But instead, she called ABC and demanded that I be fired. And so why can't you just laugh at yourself, somebody in power who can't even laugh at themselves, that's a dangerous human being. And this is what they say Obama's third term, so look around. I think I was pretty right on in my, nobody understood my tweet because they lack the geopolitical background to even understand it. They're like, oh, she said to, they're just idiots. So, but if you can't even laugh at yourself, you're a dangerous human being. And you have power and you have no sense of humor about yourself that comedians say. That's dangerous.
It's so dangerous.
Isn't it?
It's just fascist. I could not agree more. And also, the power differential is fascinating to me. So here you are.
Oh, I was going to say, and this is her third term because she is Obama's brain.
Well, she got you fired. So how exactly? And you're one of the most famous comedians in the world. And she got you fired from your job and humiliated and kind of overturned your life. She had the power to do that. So how is it that she has the right to be offended by what, she shouldn't be offended. She's in power.
I know, because these people, they're always the victim. They bully, and then when they're called on being a bully, they go, it was me. Then they're the victim. Yeah. The endless bully victim thing. It's two sides of the same coin, and they're trying to turn our entire culture into bully victim. And it's just not going to work, and my jokes are kind of to that effect. Why are we calling these people victims that are actually bullies?
Yes, and way more powerful than we are. Powerful enough to get Roseanne Barr fired from her TV show.
Yeah, and they enjoyed, oh my God, they enjoyed doing it. They really enjoyed it. Yeah, they enjoy that. They do. They enjoy sticking, when you were talking about the whole climate, culture, religion, they enjoy inflicting pain. Oh, I'm sure they sit there and go, yeah, we're going to cut. Like old people can't get their pain meds. I hear this all the time as my mom's old. They deny old people in their 80s pain meds. They like that. They like inflicting because, it's basically, it's like it is fascist and Nazi. They do experiments on captive populations. No different. And it's disgusting. And then we're supposed to see that as progressive. It's not. It's anything but. I just wanted to say it. I'm not going to let them have the last word. Not on me. I'll be fighting in my depends on a damn. I don't care. I'm never going to give up. They're not going to get me.
Okay. Anybody who just heard what you said will be waiting for the full hour and for your special. Amazing. Roseanne Barr.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was just amazing, and I had to play the whole thing. I was just in awe, and I thought she was being very, very nice because, no, you understand, they're giving the death sentence to so many with the medication, with the abortion, with just the whole health system, with the military, with these unnecessary wars. Can you imagine what happened in Ukraine the last months, y'all? And that's our money. That's on our dime. That's on our dime. And it's so unnecessary. I know it's so far away, just like Iraq. So many people died. So many are maimed. So many. And Afghanistan, same thing. And Syria, the same thing. And now I remember when Rob had to go to Moldova. Now Moldova's in the news. And now Biden is talking about Cuba. I have to talk to you about Cuba. What? So let's talk about the death penalty. Absolutely. Let me see if I had anything. I just put a bunch of stuff here. I will change a little bit and go to Richard. This was Stuff and Things. This was a post, Rocky in Texas. Supposedly, and I do believe it. Oh, I don't have it on. Sorry. This is Rocky in Texas. stuff and things, and I've been told that this Richard made this. He produced it. He put it up there. He edited it, and I believe that's true. I don't know 100%, but I do think it's true. So let's listen to it. It's called "I'm High When I'm Stupid." Now, is he talking about himself? Well, there has been absolutely no proof whatsoever that Richard was ever high. Okay? No proof. I'm just saying that. Now, let's go over that a little bit. He was with us in South Korea. He joined the army. He went to basic training from there. And in basic training, did he get high? He was distinguished honor graduate for his cycle in basic training. Then he went to AIT. My parents went there. He wrote my parents a letter. He went to AIT. He went then to Fort Bliss right away, was deployed to Qatar. Was in Qatar. I think the laws are really strict there. Came back from Qatar, and then he made this. Okay, then he visited us. In Florida, and then he made this. So let's look at it. And another thing that you need to know about Richard is even in Ireland, even down in Florida, when he, for a few months, worked for Grace Community Schools as a missionary, he had missionary stands. Many people don't understand that. So he would buy Hollywood money. And of course, he was surrounded with children, and also there at the dojo in Ireland, surrounded by children. He's a black belt in karate. And, some teachers give candy. Richard would give Benjamins, $100. I can give you $100. And it's Hollywood money for motion picture use only. And he would buy it. And when he got to El Paso, he bought some too, $70 worth of Hollywood money. And here he's using it for his Hollywood production, or his Halliday production. And it's called "I'm High When I'm Stupid." And I think what he's saying is, when you're being stupid, it's when you're participating in purchasing illegal drugs and paying for whores and porn and whatnot, right? Child porn is part of this. And I think that he was giving a message, and I'm so glad that he made this. So let's watch it and hear what he has to say.
You can't. It's his money. It's better than buying hookers and blow. That's what I would do with it, honestly. Big booty bitches. Hell yeah. I'm sorry, Benjamin, I had to do it to you.
Oh, here it is again.
You can't. It's his money. Booty bitches. You can't. It's his money. It's better than buying hookers and blow. That's what I would do with it, honestly. Big booty bitches. Hell yeah. I'm sorry, Benjamin, I had to do it to you.
Okay, so that's Richard. and his Halliday production, um, speaking to, we believe there's two other soldiers there with him, and saying, um, but he posted this, so he wanted more people to see it. He wanted more people to see it, and on another time, I will show you another audio, an audio that he made. But he's saying he rather burn his money than spend it on whores and blowouts or blow whatever. And I didn't know what that was. I knew what whores was, but I didn't know the blow, and that is, of course, illegal drugs. So, yeah, so he is giving a message. And the burning of money, or Hollywood money, fake money, is also really interesting in this, because I think he's making a point that money is not worth it. What are they making money off of? What are they doing? What kind of business plan do they have illegally that they're making big money? So, because that's part of this. The extortion, the racketeering, the child sex trafficking, the human trafficking, the illegal drugs, the marketplace for illegal drugs right there in our barracks, right there. And our barracks are co-ed, y'all. Whose bright idea was it to make our barracks co-ed? It's not like university, okay? This is Army barracks. This is the Marines. This is the Navy. This is the military barracks, y'all. I have it from sources that they force these female to take body count or be raped. They give them a choice. Asia Graham was raped, and she was told to shut up. You know why? Because in the Army, it's okay. It's 9-1, 9 males to 1 woman, to 1 female. On a ship, I think with the Marines, it was 400-1. 400-1. Whose bright idea was it not to protect the females? I don't care who you are. You are blind as a bat if you do not know history. Females need to be protected from 400 males on a ship. Females need to be protected from 9 males in a barracks, in an Army barracks. Go watch Gone with the Wind. Go watch any, if you want a clean take of it, go watch anything. Why do you think we forbid in our laws military being housed in civilian families' houses, right? We don't allow that. So this is really the destruction. And when Roseanne Barr was saying they like it, and the jab, the hurting, but the hurt goes further, y'all. They want it dead. They want the church dead. They want the family dead. They want our military dead. They want our Constitution dead. They want us dead. So this leads to another thing that I wanted to show you. And this is why we can't get answers. And you might say, what does this have to do with Richard? They wanted him dead. They wanted him dead. And please correct me. That is my opinion. When Richard went over and above the chain of command, outside of the chain of command, to make the Child Protective Service complaints, what did he hand in to them? We're told he handed in porn videos. Who was in them? Who did that implicate? And why did Major General Clem Coward decide to smoke Richard, hurt Richard right after that happened? Okay? Why did they decide to do that? And groundlessly. And just the smearing to hurt Richard. They without any fear of getting in trouble, they pronounced the death penalty on him. Let's talk about it. Because this is like legalized murder. And, for a long time, being a Christian, of course, we believe in the death penalty. Of course we do. It's very limited because we cannot let the wicked thrive. Because when the wicked thrive, they have their own death penalty. And it's bad. Like World War II. They pronounced the death penalty on people that wore the gold star, right? The gold star. They pronounced the death penalty on anyone that had some kind of health problem. Maybe a political prisoner they pronounced put in those showers. And, we can discuss all that, but I'm just saying, when evil thrives, the death penalty is right there in our face, and it is an unjust, ungodly death penalty. So this brings me back to this. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll have to get to that. They took another balloon down. I probably don't have it listed up here, but what it is that the FBI, of course, the FBI is with who? Is with the Department of Defense, is with the Department of Justice, who denied us, who did not help us, who has flicked us off like a fly. And Richard is a missing active duty soldier that we have all kinds of leads and information and names, and we've put it together, and we need them to give us a report, an after action report of what they found, right? Where is that FBI after action report on what they found with Richard's case? Where is the Department of Justice's after action report of what they found with this case? I don't even think they even looked at it. Where is the DEA's after action report, and the Customs and Border Protectors and the Homeland Security and the El Paso Police Department and the military over there in Mexico, the Mexican government, the Mexican military? Where is their after action? They were involved in this. What about the U.S. Marshals? Where is their after action report? What do they know? What did the CID know? Where is their after action report? We have gotten nothing. Why? Because we have so much. And, we have so much. Why haven't they come forward? Why haven't they honored their media promise to us? Because they want Richard's case dead. They want Richard dead. They want him dead. That's my opinion. They want it to just go away, not have any feet, not be breathing. That means dead, y'all. They don't want a living Find Richard Halliday And that is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. Who gave them the right? Who gave them the right to kill our justice system? Who gave them the right to kill our military? Who gave them the right to kill our DOS, Department of State? Who gave them the right to hijack and destroy our FBI? And on and on and on. Even if they didn't have the right intentions at the beginning, we have a who gave them the right to want to kill the Constitution little by little, death by 1,000 stab wounds, right? I mean, 39 to the head, like Austin Hawke. Who gave them the right to plea deal with someone that would plan and brutally slaughter a United States Army soldier in his barracks room on our installation during the COVID lockdown? Y'all, that is a kick in the gut, a kick in the teeth, the death sentence on every one of our service members. They are so cold-blooded, and it's not in a just way. It is in an evil way. And they get other people to do it because they've hijacked our military service members. And they've brainwashed them. They have put them in these courses that that groom them to be cold-blooded. I was shocked. My dad was an NCO. We supported his men so much. That's all I remember growing up. And what did we get from First Sergeant Michael Ruggiero and First Sergeant Jay Paulin? I don't even blame them. They've been so groomed, so trained to lockstep and be cold-blooded and selfish and just so destructive of the esprit de corps. Who gave these people the right to destroy esprit de corps and the Medal of Honor ethos? Right? Let's talk the death penalty. Who gave them the right to destroy Roseanne Barr's whole career? Just gave her the death penalty as far as her career goes. Ban her. She wasn't even allowed, if you listen to the whole thing, she wasn't even allowed to give an answer. It's the most unjust. And let's go to the death penalty. See if I looked up the death penalty as far as a Christian goes. What's the difference between someone that just has evil intentions all the way through, wants to destroy someone in a where they won't be held accountable? Not like Byron Booker murder, that was outright murder, right? But a sneaky, this hidden policies, these shadow policies, these shadow death sentences, these shadow murders, this using the tools that we have entrusted to them to hurt them. That Gomar, that was meant to hurt Richard. The permanent Gomar meant to hurt him unjustly. Absolutely over. Everything that happened to Richard, they wanted to hurt him. Okay? They wanted to hurt him. They put a mark on him. It was that clear. Um, so this is Chalcedon, um, a review of the death penalty on trial, taking a life for a life taken. Um, this is a quote: "To deny the death penalty is to insist on life for the evil. It means that evil men are given the right to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order, and their life is guaranteed against death in the process. The murderer is given the right to kill without losing his life, and the victim and potential victims are denied their right to live. If I am loving and merciful to a murderer, I am unloving and merciless to his present and future victims. Moreover, I am then in open contempt of God and his laws." Wow. If I am loving and merciful to a murderer, I am unloving and merciless to his present and future victims. Moreover, I am then in open contempt of God and his laws. Wow. It means that evil men are given the right to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order, and their life is guaranteed against death in the process. The murderer is given the right to kill without losing his life, and the victim and potential victims are denied their right to live. Yep. So for a long time, because I like Ron Paul, and Ron Paul said right now our government is so corrupt we cannot have the death penalty because it gives evil men the right to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order. That's what he said. And I was like, oh my gosh. But that was years ago. And we have given evil men and women, when I say men, I mean human, evil men, the right to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order. Because we don't have the death penalty. So I'm really eager to hear what everyone has to say on this, because I'm thinking we need to bring back the death penalty. The lawful, godly death penalty. Because we have given evil men, humans, the right to kill, kidnap, rape, violate law and order. And absolutely in this case. And I'd like to know what you have to say, because they feel that they have the right to declare someone banned, someone hurt, someone tortured, someone victimized, someone raped, someone sexually harassed, someone put in harm's way for no reason, and someone murdered and get away with it. That's been very clear. Very clear. And if that's my opinion, that's what I feel right now. If you think I'm wrong, and I'd like to hear, I think we need to bring back the death penalty. We need law and order, and we need to bring back the death penalty. Because this is just so insane. When they are attacking the Holy Catholic Apostolic faithful church members, because they believe in life, liberty, the sacraments, marriage, baptism, I hope I can say them all, marriage, baptism, the Lord's Supper, ordination, confession, confirmation, unction. Did I get them all? Yeah. Because we believe in that as our foundation of social order, that we believe in God as the creator and the law giver. That means we have to be attacked. If we go to the nation's capital, then we have to be attacked on January 6th. If we are a concerned parent and we want to know what kind of curriculum is being used to teach our children, since we're the taxpayers, and we don't agree with it, we don't agree with their agenda for our children in the schools, and we speak up, and we are then targeted as domestic terrorists. You know what the penalty is for a domestic terrorist, for a terrorist? I think it's the death penalty. Treason is the death penalty. I think we need to bring those back, but yet we need to do it God's way. God's law. Now, I don't know. I don't know if there's support for that, because here we have one very costly investigation after the other, and nobody has the stomach to hold anybody accountable. Everybody's an employee now of what's evil. Everybody is made part of the criminal cabal. And it's so sad. So I don't know what the answer is. I think it's going to be a hard going if we want to get our military back, because it's been hijacked. The 44 four-star generals and admirals that we have in our beautiful uniforms right now with the 4 stars, they are serving foreign and domestic enemies with a very foreign ideology. It is not constitutional. And it is the power to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order, have these secret, stealth, shadow policies that goes against the written law and put it forward with impunity. No penalty. Kat, thank you so much. Clem is obviously evil along with his flock of sheep. Well, look, he absolutely, with what he did to Richard, the record, absolutely shows that he meant to hurt Richard. He went after Richard for unjustly. Hey, evildoers, find a new hobby like find God. Second balloon down. Yeah, I just saw that. I call them satelloons. They're all satellites. They're flying around and they're collecting data and they're sending data to different places and all that stuff. Yeah. The first one, it's admitted that the parts and it's maybe made in the USA. Oh my gosh. I still feel Richard is alive and being held by jerks somewhere, like Mexico or Syria. Maybe I'm keeping faith. The killers and soldiers need prosecution. Right. There is always this small sliver because we don't have Richard's body, right? But we have a name. We have been told so-and-so is the murderer. That we've been told that. Oh my gosh, that so-and-so murdered Richard. And I'm like, what? Wow, this needs to go forward. But see, who is going to help us? Who is going to be, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the law enforcement agency that really cares about life, that really cares about justice. And it's not in our Department of Justice, and it's not in the FBI, and it's not in the CID. It's not. Where is it? Where do we have recourse? And I think it's with the many. I think if we can share and get enough people to know this case, and not only this case, but I think the American people, I think the people of the world need to know that our leadership made a plea deal with the murderers of Austin Hawk. I think that needs to be explained to the T. And also that Enrique is in cold case. Very quickly after his head rolled ashore, they put him in cold case. That's despicable. That's despicable. And Asia Graham, she only got justice after she was dead. Okay? And she served under Major General Clem Coward. So did Leilani Hart. So did Dallas Hart. So did Richard Halliday. He has some explaining to do. And why are these 44 four-star generals covering for this two-star general? Covering for the debacle at the border, covering for the child porn, covering for the child sex trafficking, covering for the murder of our son? I'd like to know, because we are told that the FBI found Richard's remains in Juarez, Mexico. And where is the after action report for that? Because the Department of State there in Juarez absolutely said, yes, the FBI was looking for Richard's remains here in Juarez. That's crazy that we haven't gotten an after action report. Is the FBI hiding the remains of our son? And the lead that Delirious turned in to the FBI about the Richard being taken over through the Santa Teresa port of entry in this blue truck with lowrider shaved handles. How many are there? We have it. The VIN. But where is the law enforcement? And it's very interesting. And that's a perfect card to use for human trafficking or child sex trafficking. And we absolutely know that the military, the Marines, were involved with human trafficking. We absolutely know that there is a lot of human trafficking and child sex trafficking going on around the border. And we absolutely know there's a lot of fentanyl coming through the border. We absolutely know that there's a lot of crime being committed at the border. And yet, the 44 four-star generals were more concerned about a zero-risk, not isolated, never coax postulates being done, no risk of death to anybody, but it's a political ploy, a political and also a business plan ploy of the Cobra Strike and these stupid maximizing, magnifying tests that are not tests, they just magnify or multiply, that they will lockstep, that they will go all day long and work towards to make sure everyone locksteps to that. But the safety of our country, the safety of our military, the safety of our installation, they don't care about. They let a colonel dress up in our uniform and go into our installation, into our gymnasium, and pull out his erection and put on a doggy mask for his doggy cult. And that's, there's tons of them. You think that was the first time that he had more than one picture up? Where is that in the media? Where is that in the media? So they're letting fentanyl come over. They're letting our young soldiers be groomed in these doggy sex cults, in this child sex pornography and human trafficking and child sex trafficking and alcoholism. And if they can't stomach it, then they get trained to suicide, trained to into PTSD, put on all kinds of medication. These are the worst types of criminals, y'all. Far worse than those that were in World War II on the German side. Far worse. They've pronounced who can live and who can die. They've used the tools given to them to attack. They've declared war on their own countrymen in their own country. Set them up for death. Set them up to be hurt. Set them up to be victims. Set them up to be extorted. Set them up to be racketeered. And nobody has a law enforcement agency in our trillions and trillions of dollars of government agencies and everything to make someone accountable for this. I think we need to bring back God's law word and his death penalty. How many more have to die? How many more have to be raped? How many more have to be driven to PTSD and to, God forbid, suicide? How many? How many have to be driven to participate in the porn production, selling, and broadcasting of these sex cults? And then no answer when we have everything? But if you join the military and you want to go to flight school or warrant officers training school, then you better show your COVID or your vaccine card or whatever. Are you kidding me? Those are poisons. Because those are cobra strikes. These are the worst type of enemies. They are forcing our young people to be hurt. So, this is all my opinion. If I think it is one of those untouchable subjects, should we bring the death penalty back for those evil men that like to kill, like to rape, like to violate law and order and bring chaos and destruction and death wherever they go, and they want to have the right to do it? Should we bring back the death penalty? And I'll leave with convincing the Christians. Dr. Gleason seeks to convince Christians that God's law, not set aside by Jesus Christ, but still in force, requires the death penalty for the crime of murder. He does include a chapter on addressing the secular objections to capital punishment, but we doubt his arguments will penetrate the closed minds of humanists. This is not his fault. A bunker buster, this was written so long ago. I think it was written pretty long ago. I don't know. I think that it will penetrate. I think so many people have been hurt right now and have known people, their loved ones being hurt, that I think this will penetrate the minds. So, but he may be able to convert Christians who haven't thought seriously about the issue. Many of these Christians vote, run for office, or sit on juries. Through them, the author hopes to make the world a better place. This is a good article. I really recommend it. The best part is this quote from the very beginning, and I think I'm going to read it one more time. And thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow's another day, right? But let's talk about the death penalty. To deny the death penalty is to insist on life for the evil. It means the evil men are given the right to kill, kidnap, rape, and violate law and order, and their life is guaranteed against death in the process. The murderer is given the right to kill without losing his life, and the victim and potential victims are denied their right to live. If I am loving and merciful to a murderer, I am unloving and merciless to his present and future victims. Moreover, I am then in open contempt of God and his laws. R.J. Rushdoony. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you. And tell me what you think about that. Let's discuss it.